Rusty's Road to Gentle Strength, a tale of friendship and change. In a busy town where trucks of all types zoomed and honked, each with its own character, there lived a cheerful red pickup truck named Rusty. At the young age of 9, Rusty's bright round headlights shone like jewels, and his happy grille always seemed to have a smile. His shiny paint glimmered in the sun, and the smooth purring of his engine showed how much he loved to race across open roads. His laughter was catching, and even the small heart-shaped scratch on his bumper seemed to share stories of his fun adventures. Yet, Rusty had a habit that caused his engine to sound sorry. Sometimes, he would get so excited that he'd act without thinking, nudging or bumping other trucks by accident. It was a habit that made his shiny headlights fill with worry, for it often made his friends upset, and Rusty feeling more alone than a quiet highway. In the midst of the noise and busyness, Hauler, a smart tow truck with a dark blue color and round orange beacon lights, was always there to help. "Rusty," Hauler would say in his kind engine voice, "You're not alone, mate. Many young trucks learn how to avoid being too rough. You'll learn to as well." Rusty's inner thoughts repeated Hauler's words. "I wish I didn't have this problem. I want to be a truck that everyone likes, not one that makes friends feel sad." Hauler, feeling Rusty's sadness, shared a story. Once, there was a little van that always honked too loudly, scaring everyone away. But with patience and some happy words, it learned to beep nicely, and now it leads the parade. Rusty dreamed of joining the great truck rally, racing with his friends, their engines all moving together. But his roughness made him worry that he might cause a crash instead of crossing the finish line with them. "How I wish I could be in the rally without nudging anyone," he thought sadly, his heart-shaped scratch feeling heavier than a big load. Deep inside, Rusty felt a flicker of hope. "I know there's a way to be careful, to speak instead of push. I just need to find the right way to that place." The discovery of the golden key. One sunny day, as Rusty and Howler drove down their favorite stretch of road, they found something shining in the gravel. It was a small, shiny golden key with detailed patterns, warm when touched and humming with a secret power. Looking at it closely, a hidden message lit up on its surface. "On the journey of wheels and hearts, true friendship leads the way." Another glow showed a second message. "The way to get along must be found, or the town's laughter will become silent." Rusty and Hauler looked at each other, understanding the importance of their task. "It's telling us we must learn how to drive on the road of friendship and working together," Rusty said, his voice steady but amazed. Howler nodded, his beacon lights blinking happily. Rusty felt the warmth of the key spread through his metal frame. "This trip could help me change my rough ways. Maybe I can find the calm way to be careful." With the key safely in Rusty's glove box, they set off. The road opened up before them like a wide promise, curving through the town and towards new places. Rusty's engine hummed with a mix of thrill and nervousness as they began their journey. "Did you hear about the truck that loved to boogie?" Hauler joked, easing the quiet. "It took a break and did the lift and jump at every traffic light." Rusty laughed, his worries loosening. "Perhaps this trip will teach me more than just driving straight. Maybe I'll learn how to guide my feelings too." He felt a little nervous about his habit appearing, but decided to go on with the journey anyway. As they came to a split in the road, the key started to shake, telling them to choose the way that led through a grove of whispering willow trees. The leaves rustled like they were sharing secrets, and the sun made patterns of light and dark on the ground. Rusty and Hauler stopped, not sure which way to go next. Then the golden key lit up brightly, showing a secret path that seemed to invite them towards their first big challenge on this path of discovery. Lessons from the Whispering Willows. Rusty, with his bright headlights and the golden key safe, followed Hauler through the whispering willow trees. Their engines made a quiet humming, a gentle tune that seemed to join with the rustling leaves. The way ahead had spots of light and dark, making a rainbow of colors on the ground. When they came out of the trees, they were in a clearing where the sun shined down on a beautiful mix of wildflowers. The air smelled sweet like nectar, and the sound of busy bees filled the air. "Look at that!" Rusty said, pointing with his side mirror at a group of butterflies floating around a big sunny rock. "Aren't they calm?" Paula laughed warmly. "Yes, Rusty. They're careful creatures, right? Floating on the wind, never bumping into one another." Rusty's engine skipped. "Maybe I can be like them, careful, like a butterfly's gentle touch," he thought. Just then, a shy little scooter named Scoot zoomed into the clearing. Scoot's paint was a soft sky blue and its engine made a quiet sound. "Help!" Scoot shouted, its lights wide in fear. "My friend Bumper is stuck on the steep hill. He can't get down." Rusty felt a strong wish to help. "We'll help him," he said, making his engine louder. "Show us the way, Scoot." The three of them set off, the golden key warming up as if cheering them on. The big hill was in front, covered in small stones and gravel. At the top, Bumper, a little green car with eyes full of hope, was scared to move. Rusty knew he had to be gentle, just like how the butterflies were. "I can do this without being rough," he told himself. With Hauler's advice, Rusty moved forward, his tires holding the ground well. "It's okay, Bumper," he said. "I'm here to help, not to bump. I'll be as light as a cloud." Bumper's eyes shone with thanks as Rusty carefully pushed him back onto safe ground. The little car rolled down the hill, now safe from harm. Rusty shone with happiness, his heart-shaped scratch looking a bit brighter. "I did it, Hauler. I was gentle." Hauler's beacon lights flashed with pride. "Well done, Rusty. You're learning to use your strength with kindness." As they celebrated, the golden key shimmered, its patterns turning into a picture of a butterfly. Rusty felt proud, and the key's change seemed to say, "Change is possible." Happy, they saw a trail of colorful stones leading away from the hill. "Let's see where this goes," Rusty said, ready for the next part of their trip. The challenge at the construction site. The stones took them to a busy work area where trucks worked together, moving dirt and putting down bricks. But in the middle of the working together, a loud and angry noise broke the quiet. It was Grumbleton, the huge dump truck, happy in the mess he made with his loud horn and black smoke. Rusty felt his old ways come up, the wish to stand up to the troublemaker. But then he remembered the butterflies, the gentle touch, and the soft push that helped Bumper. "I choose being friendly over being mad," he told himself. Grumbleton came closer, his red headlights looking angry. "Get out of my way or you'll be sorry," he yelled. Hauler stayed strong next to Rusty. "We won't let you spoil the working together here," Hauler said in a calm way. "We believe in making things, not breaking them." Rusty made noise, not to be mean, but to be brave. "We can fix problems without being mean to others," he said. The other trucks at the workplace came to stand with Rusty and Hauler, their engines making a nice sound together. Grumbleton, seeing they were together, stopped. His engine coughed, and for a moment he looked less big. With one last mean look, Grumbleton drove away, leaving the workplace nice and quiet again. Rusty felt happy. He had faced his worry without turning into what he was afraid of. The golden key lit up again, this time turning into the strong shape of a brick, showing the power of their friendliness. As the sun started to set, making the town look golden, a soft wind led them to a new path with lights that blinked like stars. Rusty and Hauler followed the shining lights, their hearts full of hope for the road ahead, returning home with a changed heart. As Rusty and Hauler kept going under the lights that blinked like stars, the golden key's light started to go away, its work done. The road back to town felt new, as if each little stone and puddle showed Rusty's new understanding. "I'm proud of you, Rusty," Hauler said, his voice as warm as the end of the day. "You've found the power inside to be careful and friendly." Rusty's engine hummed happily. "I feel like I've gotten a new coat of paint and now I shine more," he thought. "Hands are for helping, not for being mean. I'm getting better at talking, not hitting. Every day I pick being friendly over being mad." They came back to town just as the stars started to sprinkle the night sky with their silver light. The usual streets welcomed them back, the sound of the town's happiness clear and true. Rusty's heart was filled with joy as he realized that he no longer felt like being rough. "I can be a friend, a really good friend," he thought, his bright headlights showing the way. Rusty's new role and the Great Truck Rally. The next day, Rusty had to really show he had changed. At the playing area, a new truck, Speedy, was driving around fast, not looking where he was going. For a moment, Rusty felt his old habit start in his engine, but he quickly stopped it with a mind trick. "I can fix problems without being mean to others. I choose to be friendly," he reminded himself. "Speedy, let's have a race, but let's make sure we don't bump into anyone," Rusty said, his voice strong and clear. Speedy's engine made a happy noise, and they started racing, their tires kicking up dust, but always being careful, always thinking of the others. As days turned into weeks, Rusty found new happiness in his days. He helped little three-wheeled bikes learn to keep steady. He joined in play without any rough bumps, and his laughter became a tune that everyone liked. Hauler looked at Rusty with pride. "You've changed the sound of your engine, Rusty. You're a tune of friendliness now," he said, his orange lights blinking softly in the evening. Rusty's heart-shaped scratch was a sign of his travels. "I've learned to stay cool and friendly. I care how others feel. I am calm," he thought, each positive word a part of the well-running machine of his heart, passing on the lessons of kindness. Years later, and Rusty had become a truck everyone looked up to. He became a teacher, showing young trucks how to handle their feelings, how to be big but gentle on the road. One day, a little truck named Chipper came to him, its bumper always marked from nudging others. "I don't mean to," Chipper said, its headlights dim with sadness. Rusty saw himself in Chipper and shared what he knew. "Hands are for helping, not for being mean," he told Chipper. "Use your words to share what you feel, and don't forget, every day you can pick being friendly over being mad." Together, they worked on the happy words, and Rusty watched as Chipper changed, just as he once did. Rusty's dreams had come true. He was leading the Great Truck Rally, not by being fast, but with heart. And when he wasn't racing, he was the town's favorite story truck, telling stories of his travels, of golden keys and gentle nudges. At night, he'd look at the stars and hear the soft wind in the willows, a reminder of the trip that helped him find a life of getting along. "I remember when I got over being rough. It's what lets me be the truck I am now," he thought, his heart-shaped scratch catching the moonlight, a sign of his careful but winning spirit.